I'll hit record. Okay, do you guys see a little button at the top that says recording? Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, I still have people joining, so I'm going to give it just another minute to let everybody join. And unfortunately, the Shasta staff does have a staff meeting at 11, so I'll try to get through everything quickly. And again, if you guys have questions, feel free. I had like 3 or 4 people email me yesterday about math stuff, and that's fine. So go ahead and shoot me an email if you. And honestly, I had another group of teachers that wanted to do another Zoom with just a smaller group. So if you guys have questions or need more help, I'm happy to help. All right, we have 38, yay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with share. Okay, so today I wanted to just show you guys some ELA sites that I'm gonna be using for our distant learning or digital learning. And again, most of these sites tie in with Journeys, not all of our curriculum, because there might be some middle school, high school teachers on here. Most of the sites tie in with our curriculum, but not all of them are curriculum based. And again, kind of like with the math things yesterday, we could look at specific standards rather than just our curriculum. So I'm going to show you, I should have done this yesterday. I'm going to show you, this is what my template looks like for ELA. And again, I don't know that I'll keep it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but just to give you an idea. And I'm used to having a touch screen, so using this mouse is a little bit different for me. So again, you can see to start with, I was going backwards a little bit for 4th grade, starting with lesson 19 in Journeys. This is it's actually through the Think Central website, and it's a building background. It's on Think Central, and it's for this unit. So it's on Think Central. It's called Stream to Start, but what it really is a building background video. So I would start with the building background video, then have my story link. And again, I'll show you how to get that story link or how to download this stuff from Think Central also. So my story link for this story, again, some basic directions here. This is where you would find it. And again, this is more for you guys to see. The side notes here, more for you guys to see. I wouldn't send that to my kids. So then teaching a standard or a skill. So I don't know if everybody agreed to do this, but at Shasta, we're going to teach the standard and the skill that goes with Journeys, not what is in the priority plan. Just because if the parents are looking at the Journeys book and the Journeys book says we're doing inferencing on this story, it won't make any sense to the parents if we're not doing inferencing. So the standard or the skill, so again, is all I do when I'm looking for a video lesson or a slideshow. I literally just put in the standard in a Google search bar, and then behind it, I put you can put PPT for PowerPoint or put video behind it, but I literally just do a Google search for the standard. So, and I'll show you that too. So, and also there are so many YouTube videos that are already made that actually teach the standard. So that's how I search to find these things. There's a lot of slideshows in a website called slideshare.net. And actually, I'll show you this one. So this one that I found for making inferences. So again, there's 17 slides here. It talks about, it's a really simple lesson on making inferences. And again, this is just in SlideShare. And then again, YouTube videos. Here's a YouTube video on making inferences.
Hi, eSparkers.
And this is actually from eSpark, which was a website I talked about yesterday. But I didn't search in eSpark. I literally went to YouTube and searched for, and the standards right here, so RL 4.1, and pulled up this video. But it is from eSpark, and eSpark was one of the websites we talked about yesterday. And so then I have, so we have they read the story, They do a lesson on the standard or the skill, and then we do either or both vocabulary review and spelling review. So, and I'm going to show you the website where I do the vocab and spelling. And then I put in a grammar lesson here that is through Think Central. And again, I don't know how many of you use Think Central. It's not the easiest website to navigate, but they updated their website last week to have just at-home learning resources. And so I think that will actually make it a lot easier than logging into Think Central and then having the kids log into Think Central. So again, just showing you an idea of what mine would look like. And the write-in reader is also, I would have that assignment posted in Google Classroom. Again, that's through Think Central, but I really want to show you these other websites. So, and then the supplemental activities, just like I had in math yesterday, we have, these are all websites my students love, especially the Dreamscape. And that was the one I kind of talked about yesterday. For K2, it's called Squiggle Park. And for 3, 4, 5, 6, it's called Dreamscape. And I know even our 6th grade teachers have tried it, and the kids love it. It's very, very game-based. They're in a digital world, and they love it. And then eSpark. Get Epic just has hundreds and hundreds of books online that the kids can read. And Story Online also is the same thing. They're all free sites, and they have just lots of resources for the kids to read and find books. So that might be what Monday looks like. Tuesday, again, almost every one of our stories, almost every grade level, there is a YouTube video of the story. So Monday, I might have them read the story. Tuesday, they're going to listen to the story. And again, it's when I search on this, I put in the title of the story. So we were starting Harvesting Hope with our lesson. Let me
no astronaut launches for space.
Get that. So
Harvesting Hope. The
again,
story of Cesar Chavez.
Right out of our book, it's the story. So again, first day they might read it, second day they could listen to it. And again, is all I do here is search for the story in the search bar. Then again, I have another lesson for them on inferencing, reading strategy and skills, and that's through ReadWorks. And I'm going to show you that site too. And ReadWorks links through Google Classroom also. So again, you can push things straight out to Google Classroom. And again, vocabulary review, possibly spelling review. Again, I don't know if everybody does spelling, and even if you do, if it's worth taking 10 minutes of our precious 90-minute time to have them practice spelling. I don't know. Again, the supplemental activities. Then again, Wednesday, read the story out loud to yourself. So again, I have Flipgrid and Seesaw in here, which are both sites we looked at or talked about yesterday. We didn't look at them. That they could just read 1 or 2 pages of the story, again, to practice that fluency. And then what the standard we were working on this week was inferencing. So I have several different sites that they can go in and apply the skill that they've been practicing on inferencing. And again, those are sites we'll take a look at in just a second. Again, vocabulary review. So kind of you can see the breakdown of the week. And then Thursday, again, there's another lesson from ReadWorks on the standard of the skill, vocabulary review. You can see Thursday's a little bit light on assignments. And Friday would actually be a couple quizzes. So Friday, a vocabulary quiz, a spelling quiz, possibly, and then a quiz on the reading strategy and skill. So that's kind of the layout that I had started with. And of course, it's going to change. It's going to be tweaked. So I'll take you to ReadWorks first. So ReadWorks, again, over on the left-hand side, you can search by standard or skill and grade level. So if I wanted to do 4th grade and skills and strategies is how I'm going to search for it. So again, I've been working on inferencing, so I'm going to pick inferencing. And so I see this one right here that's Space Vacation. I can see it's bookmarked. I already have it in my file. So I'm going to just go to Space Vacation, and I'm just going to hit assign. And I have the choice of what I include in the assignment. So it can be read to them. It can have audio to it. If I want to have inferencing questions, that's the whole point, is we have inferencing questions. And then I can add or take away vocabulary questions from this article. And again, it just right here, you can see it says published to Classroom Stream, Google Classroom Stream. So again, it pushes straight out through Google Classroom. And again, we can differentiate with different levels. So you could give a 4th grade level, a 5th grade level, a 6th grade level of the same story. You can change the level of the story. So they're all reading the story on Space Vacation, but you can change the Lexile level of it. So I'm just gonna, I think, since this is a new computer, I don't know if it's gonna, so again, it pushes straight out through Google Classroom. So that would just be a link that shows up on the student's Google Classroom that said, and again, I would put in some directions, you know, complete this assignment, read the story, answer the questions by Friday. And with ReadWorks, you can search by topic. You can search by, like I did with standards or skills. So here again, I'm just gonna assign it, authenticated it. So I'm gonna assign it to my class. And it is pushed straight to Google Classroom. So that's ReadWorks. And again, it has the print option over there too. So if we are having to print packets or send out packets, you can print the exact same assignment that you're sending out digitally. So this one is called News ELA, and I had a secondary teacher actually ask about this one. So hopefully, I don't know if they're on or not, but hopefully they're here. So News ELA is kind of the same idea. You can search by topics, you can search by subjects, you can search by, there's thousands and thousands of articles. So what I'm under subjects right now for ELA, and if I come over here and scroll, they have curriculums that are tied to it. So again, there's all kinds of curriculums tied to it. You can pick anything. Again, if we're gonna, you know, if we wanna stay with ours, then we're gonna go to our journeys. And so they have grades 2 through 4, sorry, 2 through 6, as I clicked on that. So, and I will say, it says right here, use this collection alongside the Journeys literacy curriculum. It is not exactly the stories from Journey. It's not, it's just they're tied, they're the same types of lessons. So like in lesson 1, it talks about friendship, which is one of the themes in our first lessons. So again, if I wanted to assign this, I could come right here, I just click assign. And again, I already have my Google Classroom linked to it. So you guys would be doing create a new class, but I already have my Google Classroom linked. And again, right here, you can adjust the level of this text. So again, all the kids are reading it, but you can assign different Lexile levels of this text. I'm gonna go, so I'm assigning to this class. I think my button's over here. Oh, I took my class away. And again, because my students are already linked to this, it's not, but it pushes it straight to my Google Classroom. And you can see the class names right here. This is what my Google Classroom name is, right? This Morzine 2020 4th grade. So, and again, it tells me, I can look at this one. It looks like I sent this out last week. So actually it looks like I sent it out a couple weeks ago, but how to navigate. So 7 of my students have viewed this, have looked at the article. And let's see if it'll give me some data. Yeah, so I can come in and see my students, how long it took them to read it and what their score was on the quiz. So that one is News ELA. Okay, and so then I just jumped into Think Central here. So on Think Central, they have this new resource right here that's called At Home Learning. And if you click on the At Home Learning, basically they have every one of our books available to download. So this is the student edition of the book. So I can download the student edition of the textbook. So again, this is how I would download this to my computer, and this is how I would have the students read. So just going to tell them to go to, you know, page 1 through 12. So, they also have in that At Home Learning section the reader's notebooks. So all of our workbooks are right here that you can download. They have the Write and Reader, and then they have the adventure magazines for the grades, the upper grades. So all of those things are in Think Central now that we can download. So that, again, you're not having to continuously log into Think Central and navigate the website, and the students aren't having to log into Think Central and navigate the website, because I think that Think Central is probably the most difficult website I've ever experienced.
Gina,
Yeah.
can you go back to before you showed us this, right when you got to Think Central?
Yeah.
I missed something.
Yeah, so right in Think Central, it's right here. It says at home learning.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Oh, that was my slide share. Get rid of those. Okay, so a couple of the other websites that I want to show you that, like, for vocabulary. So Quiz is a fantastic website, and you can, again, use this for actually any subject. Sorry, I'm not logged in. And again, you can search standard, you can search your story. So again, if I'm doing Harvesting Hope for Journeys, I can actually type in Harvesting Hope and search, and it'll pull up a vocabulary quiz, a spelling quiz, a reading comprehension quiz that matches it. Or again, a lot of times, and I know Shelly and I do this a lot, we'll just do, okay, I want to find a quiz that is RL 4.1. And it'll pull up quizzes that match that. So again, I have RL 4.1 making inferences right here, and it shows me over here a preview of what that quiz looks like. And again, I can see it's 3rd through 5th grade. It's been played, and the only reason I look at how many times it's been played is kind of tells me if people feel like it's a valuable quiz. But again, you can preview it. So if I click on this one, I'm going to do, I can see the quiz right here. So I can go through and look at the quiz. When I do this in class live, we do play live, but right now we're obviously not doing that. So we would assign it as homework. And again, it pushes right out through Google Classroom. So I'm gonna go here, and again, let's see. I wanna select, and there's my Google Classrooms right there. So that's my class I wanna assign it to. I'm gonna say next. And I just scroll down on the settings down here, because you can change how many times the students are allowed to take it, and show whether it shows the answers. So you can change some of those settings right there. And then I'm going to come up and hit assign. Oh, and the time frame too. So once, this is when I set it by that they have to complete it by tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. It shuts off. They don't have access to it after that. So that's something in this new world that I'm going to want to change, so that they have it for at least 4 or 5 days. So I'm going to hit assign game. And again, you can see this quiz has been assigned to your Google Classroom. So again, it's pushed straight out to Google Classroom. And so when I'm searching here, I'm going to go over to find a quiz. And again, if I wanted to find that Harvesting Hope that matches our curriculum. So again, you can see most all of them have pictures that match the story, so you know, but again, as we see right here, Journeys, Harvesting Hope, and this one is a vocabulary one. And again, I'm highlighting it, and I can see over here that these are vocabulary quizzes. Did somebody have a question? Okay, so again, I can scroll through, and here's the story test right here. So this one is the story test, and again, I can see the questions on the right-hand side. And you can, again, even find the spelling in here. So if I wanted to find the spelling, I'd add the spelling. My kids actually like doing the spelling on here because it gives them like that. So I'm on the right-hand side, you can see again, it says, how do you spell? And it gives them the word colorful, and it gives them choices. So my kids like to do the spelling test this way. And again, you can search, and this, I know this would be applicable to secondary classes and teachers also. But again, because everything's just already created in here for us. Again, all of our every vocabulary I've ever looked for has been in here, every spelling, every story. But again, even if it's not in there, it's super, super easy to create your own quiz. I know Shelly's done that quite a bit. The other site is, oh, sorry, the button's up at the top are different. All right, the other one is called Quizlet. And I use Quizlet mostly for vocabulary. And my kids practice, and again, they love doing this. So they have flashcards in Quizlet. And again, when I go to search for something, so again, I have all the journeys lesson, they're already all there. So I'm not creating these things. So if I wanted to search for something new, I would just do journeys, if I can spell, journeys, 4th grade, lesson 19. And of course it starts off with lesson 1. So here it is right here. So journeys, lesson 19. And so it starts off with flashcards like this. And this is what my kids, when we're in class, I make them do at least 10 minutes of the flashcards before they can play any of the games. So they have games over here and they love to play the matching game. They can actually, even distance, they can challenge each other in the matching game. So again, is all I'm gonna do right here is hit share and share on Google Classroom. And it pushes it out to my classroom. So again, I'm gonna choose my class.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
On things like this with the vocabulary, a lot of parents are limited on internet, so they're sitting at hotspots. Would you put this as something they have to do that week or as a supplemental for the ones that can? And if they can't, then it's not, you know, stressful for the parents to try to get done?
I don't know, and I think that would have to be a building decision, or I don't know, maybe it even comes down to a teacher-led decision. I personally feel like vocabulary is probably the most important thing that they need to be doing. So it wouldn't be optional for me, but, and again, I don't know, because I don't know how everybody, like I said, if we're limited on the amount of time that we can teach and the amount of work we can give them, but like you're saying on the other end too, the parents are limited. We are going to have to prioritize things. But like I said, I feel really strongly that vocabulary is something that's really, really important that they need to be practicing. So I don't know, maybe it's taking off something else. And again, that lesson that I showed you that I created that like 2 weeks ago. So as I look at it and go through it now, I'm like, there's no way we can do all of that. So I definitely have to make changes and have to prioritize things. And maybe it is practicing vocabulary 2 days a week and taking out something else. And again, I think we do spelling in my class, but I don't see how there's any way we're gonna be able to continue doing spelling.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I don't know. I hope that helped. Like I said, and yeah, like I said, I think as teachers, we're going to have to prioritize, and as families, they're going to have to prioritize what they can do too. You're right, because I can't see parents wanting to sit in a hotspot. I sit at a hotspot so the kids can do flashcards. But you know, they could maybe do the flashcards. Maybe Monday they look at these flashcards and they make their own set of flashcards, and then they can practice the flashcards on paper. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I have a couple questions over here. So is there a way to see what they did after you push it out in Quizlet? So let me show you. You can't see it if they're practicing their flashcards, but if they, and you can actually assign a test in Quizlet. So you could see it then. So let me go back and see. So you can push out a test right here and you would be able to see the test results. But you wouldn't be able to see if they'd actually practiced the flashcards or not. You wouldn't be able to tell that. Let me go into my Google Classroom and show you what the Quiz looks like. because again, those things again, so like quizzes grades it for you. The Quizlet test, it actually grades it for you. Sorry, Quizlet test grades it for you too. So, and then I have a quizzes I sent out last week. Let me pull it up. So this is a quizzes game I sent out, and again, I can see right here that 10 of my students have done it, and I can go in and look at these graded ones. And on the left-hand side of my Google Classroom is where it shows the grades. So I have to scroll down to see the ones that turned it in. So this was a really simple multiplication. It was honestly single digit by single digit. So I can see over here that their scores. Also, if you do tie your parents in, the parent email to Google Classroom, the parents will also be able to see their score on it. And I get parents every now and then, if somebody does poorly, that the parents will text me or email me and say, they got 60% on that, can they take it over? So I think, those parents that are checking in, but that's again, I just love it because it grades it for you, and it puts it, again, with Google Classroom, it shows you that it's done, and then the quiz grades it for you. Let me go back.
So Dina,
Yeah.
if you have a parent that knows the score and wants to see if the child can take it over, are they able to take it over?
Oh yeah, I always let my kids take everything over. I let them do everything over.
But I mean, do you just push it out again to that student individually? Is that how you do it?
I don't think you can do that with quizzes. I just open it back up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you might be able to push it out individually, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Dina, I have a question too. Your results were about half of your kids did it, and I'm kind of finding that too. How do you get the others to do it? I don't know.
Well, and honestly, Tracy, that was, I looked at the data. I actually sent that out March 31st. So at that time, and I'm telling my kids and my parents that it's optional, all of this is optional right now. And so they knew that it was optional. But again, as we move into next week, I truly know I'm going to have the same thing. I mean, I know I'm going to have, I would say a third, maybe a fourth of my class that's not going to do anything.
Right.
And I think that all we can do is just continue to contact the parents and again, reiterate with the parents that, and I don't know when we're going to start grading. I don't know what grading is going to look like, but letting the parents know that now it is required. Now it is no longer optional starting on Monday, and that the kids are going to be assessed. Parents are getting a lot of misinformation about, I've had so many parents say that if, they're not getting work done, that they're going to have to repeat grades and all, and I just, so I think just, making sure the parents know that starting Monday is required, and that the students are going to be assessed on their work. Like I said, I don't know how that's going to look yet, but.
Thank you.
But Tracy, I have 3 kids in my class that literally never turn anything in. So I know
Sure.
that I don't know how I'm going to reach those guys, but.
Good. Thank you.
Yes. And then I think I mentioned it yesterday too, and I know a lot of teachers use Kahoot, and obviously Kahoot is an interactive game you play with your class, but Kahoot made a change that you can send it out as homework, so that the kids can still, again, so you can do the same thing in Kahoot that I just did in Quizzes, where you search for a standard or search for the story that you're doing right now, and you can assign it as homework. So that's another option for doing assessments, basically, but they're fun. The kids love doing Kahoots.
Hey, Dina, did you say you tried to do one live on Zoom?
I did a live Kahoot on Zoom, yeah.
And it worked pretty well?
I had 14 of my kids on Zoom, and 2 of them could not, for some reason, the game code wouldn't work for them. So I told them I told those 2 kids to partner up with somebody that was in the Kahoot, and they could do the chat box together and talk together about what they thought the answer was. It wasn't perfect, but until every single day we Zoom now, the kids are like, are we doing a Kahoot today? Are we doing a Kahoot today?
Yeah, well, I thought it would be fun to try since.
And honestly, I did a Disney character Kahoot. I mean, it was nothing, no schoolwork, nothing. It was just a fun Disney one, so.
Okay.
Okay, I went fast. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a-
Kelly?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So for our team, we were trying to be kind of consistent. So we sort of, like I'm doing the ELA lessons. And so if I push a Quizlet and I put it on a Google slide and the other teachers make a copy of my Google slides and push it out to their kids, will they get the individual scoring for their classroom, or do they need to push that quiz out to their kids?
If you push it out, you're gonna get it. Yeah.
Okay, so if we want to use the quiz, I should just send them the quiz that we're going to use and say, please push this out to your kids using quizzes or whatever for
Yep.
week 3, day 2.
Yep.
And if they push that out, they'll get their kids' results.
Yes. And
Okay.
Shelly and I actually do that all the time. Shelly will find a quiz and she just emails it to me. Hey, Dina, my kids did this quizzes today. It's a good one. You know, here's the link. So, and then I push it out to my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I add something to that, Dina.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have found with quizzes, I love quizzes, but there are time limits on answering the questions, and I want kids to not worry about the time limit. So I go in and edit it and change the time to the maximum time, and then I just save it as my own quiz. And so it's really easy to do that, and I'm happy to help somebody, or Dina could just show everybody right now if you have time on your screen.
Well, and I think, Shelly, in the settings, I think you can shut the time off on the settings.
And there probably is a way to do that, Dina. When I find one I like, then I want to save it as one of my quizzes so I can find it easy. But yeah, I'll get off the microphone. Why don't you see what we can do, if you don't mind.
No problem. So this is the Harvesting Hope one. And so like Shelly is saying, when the person who made this, they set this up they only have 30 seconds to answer the question. And of course we want to train our kids to take their time and make sure that they're reading it. And that timer does show up for the kids. So they go like, oh, I got 5 more seconds to answer it. So when you basically save it, but again, I can click edit right here and change the time. Is 120 seconds is the most you can do. Oh, nope. Got all kinds of time. Okay, so Shelly, what do you normally change it to? Do you change it really to, you don't change it to 15 minutes, do
Up
you?
to 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so even.
Question, if it's like, what is the theme of this passage? Obviously, I'll go like to 5 minutes.
Right, okay.
I think I need 15 minutes in my opinion.
Okay, so I think in settings, let me go back and I think in settings you can take the time limits off, but I might be wrong.
And Dina, each question has their own time limit, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So if I come and under assign homework, let's see. Yeah, oh, they see the countdown timer. See, I thought you could shut the time off, but that must be what I was thinking. It just says right there is that they can see the countdown timer. Yep. I don't see that you can change the time for the whole thing in one button. But again, so Katie, you were asking about seeing reports. So again, you can see those reports in Google Classroom, but like here, again, these are assignments that my kids have done previously. So again, I can go in and look the week before we left at their vocabulary here, and I can pull up this data for each student really quickly in the reports. And I can go, again, this is that report. So, okay, I can see if I notice that there's one question that a lot of them missed. I can see in the red here, like maybe this one, okay, we need to go over this one and talk about this question right here. The other site that's really great, and they're also putting out a ton of distance learning lessons, is Edulastic, and I've done trainings on Edulastic a few times. But again, it's really similar that you can search for a standard and push out assignments, and again, it grades it for you. Edulastic is actually my very favorite one, but and again, it goes with everything. You can pick any subject for Edulastic. So if I wanted to go into, and I know some of you have asked about making PDFs editable, and this is actually the easiest and best way to make a PDF editable, is right through editable through Edulastic. And if you wanted help with that, I could do a whole other thing on a mini Zoom on doing that. But again, because you could push it straight out through Google Classroom, and you can and it grades it for you. So I was getting into making a new one. Oh, sorry, new assessment. So if you want to, you can choose from library. So again, even choosing from library, you can find Engage New York quizzes, and you can find Journey quizzes that are already created. But you can also search by standard. Now my computer's being really slow. I'm unstable. So right here, I can search by grade subject. So again, it has every subject, and you can do standards. So again, if I wanted to search for a specific math standard. So let me just, I just really quick, I'll show you again how it pushes out super easy through Google Classroom. Oh, this is still in a draft, sorry. So if I come here to assign this one, again, right here in the middle, assign this class, here's my Google Classroom right here. And it says, again, you can differentiate by selecting the students you want to have it, and hit assign, and it, oh, they already have this one. So again, it pushes it out straight to Google Classroom. One of their new features is making it that it's that you share it as a graded assignment, but I actually don't pick that because I found some glitches in it because it's a new kind of a more new thing. So again, it pushed out to my Google Classroom, and it says that it's in grading. So the students have it in their Google Classroom right now. Yesterday, my kids tried to do some of the things I posted, and I'm like, no, you guys don't have to do those things. All right. Any other questions? I know it's a lot, lots to take in.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dina, question.
Go
Go ahead. I think, Kathy, that's you, I think.
Yeah. So are you pushing out to all the kids, resource kids included?
I do. I am. And in my classroom, when they're in my classroom live, you know, they know that some of the things they don't have to do.
Yeah.
I do have them try sometimes and just say, you know, do your best. But because they are in my Google Classroom, they are getting the same assignments right now. But again, my kids know, and the parents know with that communication that so one of the parents is like, no, I want him to try it. And so she has him try it. And then others are like, no, we'll wait and get the other stuff from the resource teacher.
Is it your understanding that the resource teachers are doing their own thing and pushing out as well?
It is my understanding that they're going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got that. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, Laura.
So how are all of these resources linked to my Google Classroom?
the first time that you go into Quizzes or Quizlet or Edulastic, it'll say, do you want it says, do you want to create a class? And you're going to, you find the create a class button and you click create a class, and it will say, do you want to sync this with your Google Classroom? And you say
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
and it'll sync it. It pulls all your kids in, and so like I got a new student, as did a couple other teachers at Shasta during this time, and so those new students are in my Google Classroom now. But if I pushed out something right now through Quizzes, I need to resync it to pull that new kid in. So, but it's just, it literally, you'll see that create a class button or share with a class, and it'll say, how do you want to do this? And it'll have that little Google Classroom green and yellow square, and you just sync it with your Google Classroom.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm doing a Zoom with my kiddos today. Hopefully, I've stressed that they all need to show up so they can all get into Google Classroom. But
Cool. Yay.
we'll see how that goes. And I tried to screen share and all that, so I'm hoping that I can kind of show them all how to do it, and they can help each other.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yes. And Callie, you have a question. Let me do this one in the chat box really quick. So do they need passwords on Quizzes and Quizlet? They don't, because it is linked to their Google Classroom account. So again, it might say, and I think it does, it says when the students click on the link, it'll say, oh, if you need to create an account, do you want to use your Google login? And the kids just need to say, yes, I want to use my Google login. And that's all they have to do. They won't need anything else, because it literally pulls the information from their Google account. Was that your question, Callie? Okay. Okay. All right. And Tracy wants to see about the doing the PDFs. Okay. Can we do that next week? Okay. Today I know I have a 10, an 11, and a 1 today. So Kimberly.
So I just found something that I think is going to rock my world, and I want to share it with first grade teachers, and I don't know if anybody else, hopefully you guys can all use this, but I liked your little thing about YouTubing or like Googling the stories from Journeys, right? Okay, so I've been snipping the words to know unit by unit, and that was going to be my day today. And so there's this website, and it's called Handouts. Maybe I should type it in here for you guys. Anyway, it's handouts.abs.edu.kw. So I just Googled Little Rabbit's Tail because that's where we're going to start. If you click on Little Rabbit's Tail, it has the story, it has the words, it has everything. So instead of going to Think Central and having to download the whole or upload the whole unit,
right,
you just get the little bitty thing.
Right.
So anyway, I'm so excited. So I'm going to mess around with that today, and I can type it in here.
Okay, and Kim, let me show you guys one other thing too. I actually made the digital distant learning, digital whatever website for elementary for the school district, and I don't know that word really got out that this was here. And it's kind of a weird thing because it's under parents, but you actually have to click on the word parents. It's not on any of those subtitles. You have to click on parents. And so this elementary resources is a website that I made, and so again, it has a lot of the resources that I've talked about, but under ELA, I tried to find Journeys resources for every grade level. And so there's a couple first grade. I had a hard time finding first grade, honestly, but there's a couple different resources on here. And like you're saying, these are teachers that have created Journeys things already. And again, we don't need to recreate the wheel because there is stuff out there already. So like this one, again, as a first grade teacher, this is a Journeys lesson. And I don't know anything about the journey, but again, like you're saying, you've got, honestly, I don't know what these things are, but I'm hoping that the first grade teacher would know, again, so you're spelling words. Oh, here's your words to know. Is that what you were talking about, Kimberly?
Yes.
Okay. So again, I think there's on that our web page here, there's, I think, 3 different first grade Journeys resources. And again, these are just other teachers that have created things. Oh, actually, I think there's more than that. There's 4 first grade ones. This is a kindergarten one. Here's second grade. couple second grade resources. So again, like this teacher put everything in a Symbaloo, which is a fantastic way to organize. There's some third grade, fourth grade. And the reason is because I found this website for fourth grade. I'm not sure that's the right one. Nope. That is amazing. And we use it all the time. So this teacher's website is incredible. So she has all of the journeys, everything. So this is Unit 1. She has the lesson story. She has all the vocabulary. She has videos that go along with the story. She has the spelling word. She has a Quizlet quiz already made. And she has it for every single lesson. So I found this for the fourth grade and I use it all the time. And then I was like, there has to be other teachers who have stuff like this for other grade levels. So I tried to find those. And like I said, they're on the district webpage. Fourth grade, fifth grade. So that's another place that you might look to see if you can find some resources that are already made so that you don't have to create new things. And if your parents want more activities for kids, again, I have the science and social studies and just a lot of different resources on here that when I started making this, it was supposed to be for teachers. Like, here's some resources for teachers to use digitally. And it kind of morphed into a teacher and parent resource page. So. All right, and Kimberly shared that website in the chat room if anybody wants to take a look at it. All right, we have our next Zoom in about 10 minutes for Shasta. So if anybody has any questions, we have a couple more minutes. And like I said, if something comes up later, feel free to shoot me an email.
Will you be able to invite us somehow to the one about editing PDFs?
I will. This is what happened. So I shared the Zoom link with Jen, our Jen Witt, and Jen shared it with your administrators. So I'll do the same thing. I'll share it with Jen, and we can do it early next week. So there's a couple different ways of taking a PDF and making it editable. So I can show a couple simple ways, and then like I said, in Edulastic it's really easy, and what I love about the Edulastic one is that it grades it for you. But yeah, I'll do that, and like I said, I'll share it with Mrs. Witt, and she can share it with all the other admins, and if do you guys want to do Monday, or is Monday too overwhelming right now?
Sure.
Monday? Okay, let's do Monday. We have a staff Zoom. Well, let's do 10. We can do 10 Monday. And if you don't get it, then you can shoot me an email and I'll let you know. All right. Thank you, everybody. I won't be silly today since we're recording.
Thank you, Dina.
Bye.